Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here for WeAreChange.org. And today we're going to be talking about global politics because no matter how crazy you think it is here in the United States, abroad things are even more insane in some instances. Now, Africa is no stranger to strife, corruption, and warlords, and that's what this story is really about. A man named George Weah has now won the presidency of Liberia. And this man was a soccer star who played for Chelsea and other teams. Now, this shows you that the obsession with fame, with sports stars, with celebrity goes beyond the United States. And the fact of the matter is, if you do hold this amongst the people, there's a good chance that no matter what your political positions are, you can gain power. And that certainly seems to be the case here, as mainstream media was reporting in October that he seemed to have ties with a former president and warlord and cannibal, but we'll get to that in a moment. You see, George Weah named Jewel Howard Taylor as his deputy or vice president. Now, she also happens to be the ex-wife of convicted war criminal Charles Taylor. Now, I know a lot of these things are kangaroo courts, but the evidence in this case is quite overwhelming. Now, Taylor basically came up through being a rebel in 1989 and the early 90s, going into Sierra Leone and the conflict there. And by 1997, he was the president of the country. Now, eventually he was deposed and put on the run. Eventually he was caught and tried for war crimes, where he received 50 years. Now, what people have to understand is in African culture, voodoo and rituals are the norm in many cases. And some of the allegations were as follows. Not only was Charles Taylor into witchcraft and human sacrifice, but he was also into cannibalism. In fact, Joseph Marza testified, and by the way, Joseph Marza was his self-described death commander, that Taylor drank the blood of prisoners, and he ordered human sacrifice and cannibalism amongst his troops. Let that sink in for a minute. The idea of these horrific crimes is unbelievable, but what's even more unbelievable is that he's currently serving the rest of his sentence in the United Kingdom. And earlier this year in February, he was actually allowed to make a phone call from prison and get it out into the media. Now again, this is a man that's been convicted of some very, very heavy crimes, and now it seems that he may be pulling the strings from prison. This is definitely a story that WeAreChange is going to keep an eye on, especially if a war criminal may be freed in the coming months due to this Liberian election. As always, if you like this video, please share it on social media, hit that like button, please subscribe, and if you can, go to WeAreChange.org, make that donation. It's only through your support that reports like this one are possible.